She published her book A to Z of blogging exclusively on Kindle, and we will talk about that soon. Anamika, welcome to our literary forum, Surya Uday. We are excited to interact with you. Let's
Thank
start.
you.
Let's start and talk about your journey, how you began writing, and a brief about your books. Then we'll proceed with the Q&A.
All right. Thank you so much at first for having me for this session. I'm really excited. These virtual events are at first they were not that I didn't find them so interactive and all, but since time like since last year, these are having being conducted so frequently, and I started enjoying actually. And plus, I read about Millennium Mams. I have gone through your website and everything, and it is really impressive, and I was really excited for this session. So thank you so much for having me here.
We are
To
also
begin,
excited.
yeah, to begin with my journey as a writer professionally, I started writing from 2013 when my first book got published. But as a student in school, I used to contribute to my school magazine. Then in class 12th and 11th, I was the editor of my school magazine. So writing poetry and articles for the magazine was a very frequent, very common thing for me, and it helped me a lot when I started writing articles professionally. Then I started my blog in 2007. That time I had no clue that I'll be writing books. I was just excited about, this blog where I could write my thoughts and perception, and I could just share my words, my heart out, and my experiences. But then eventually I started enjoying writing on my blog, when readers were responding, and when I see the number of subscribers going up, and it was really good as a student, because I was in the first year of my college, and it was really good. And at that time, having a blog wasn't that common also. So at first I had to explain to the people what exactly a blog is, and I had to tell them, okay, this is the URL you type, and just go to this page and you'll see everything that I have written. So that was the in thing, the new thing that I had faced. Then I was in the final year of my master's when I started working on my book. I had a conversation with my mom where she just asked me that you are continuously changing your, what do you call it? Specializations in the college. I was
Yeah.
continuously changing. I had photography for first semester, then I had filmmaking for second semester, then I had PR for third semester. And my mom was like, what do you want to do with your life? You're just changing your specialization every semester. So there's a long process in my college that you have to write a proper application and submit it to the dean, that okay, this is the reason why I want to change, and then it should have your parents signature. So after every semester I used to come to my parents and okay, ये application है, please आप इस पे sign कर दो, मुझे फिर से specialization change करना है. So then my mom was like, what do you want to exactly do in your life? So I was like, I am feeling very awkward in telling, but I want to write books. I want to be a writer, but I don't know how to go about it. So I want to wait, do the job like everyone is suggesting, have some experience, earn some money, and then just enter this field to be on the safer side. So my mom was like, "What do you want to? Why do you want to waste your years in doing
Mm.
something that you don't like? So why don't you start writing your book? If you have a story, if you have ideas, you should start writing on the book, and we'll see how it comes, and we'll take it as it comes." So I was like, okay. Then I started working on my book in the final semester, and by the time I got my master's completed, I was having my book in my hand. So that gave motivated me to pursue writing as a full time profession. My parents supported me, for every decision. So they were like, okay, if you don't want to do any job, you don't do it. And by the way, final semester's specialization was radio, so I did this, internship with Radio Mirchi. So I got placed in Radio Mirchi, but I, said no to the job. That was the journey. Then that first book came out. It went so well. It was on the bestsellers, the contemporary romance category. Then Jaiko approached me. I was in one of the literary events where I met this editor from Jaiko, and she said that, okay, I have read your book and we really liked it. So if you're writing anything, we'd like to read and we'd like to consider it for publication. So that time I was working on my second book. That's how Jaiko happened. And then Westland approached for my third book. So that's how Westland happened. And then it's like now it's been a good journey. I when I look back, I was all naive and I didn't have any idea how this all works. Coming from a very normal middle class, upper middle class family, I had no connections in the industry and I had nothing. And now when I look back, it was all worthwhile. But yeah, I had my set of ups and downs. Obviously, everyone has. But yeah, it's been a beautiful journey so far. And talking about my blog, it's more of a lifestyle and travel blog. I my official blog is called anamikamishra.com, and these two other blogs, Oh That Buzz and Pop Story, these are my brands that I wanted to create. Like Oh That Buzz, as its name suggests, it's more about trending viral content, which is not that common. When you open 10 websites, you read all similar articles. It's not about that. It's about something that is different yet worth going viral and all. And pop story is more like sharing stories that really matters. Also, as an entrepreneur, I have my firm. It's called RSM Media Works. It's more of a digital media agency, and I'm a partner with Tia Events, which is an event company. So that's that.
Wow, wonderful.
Thank you.
I'll proceed to the Q&A.
All right.
You say in your book A to Z of blogging, and perhaps you live by this philosophy also, there is nothing like right time or right year. Whatever it is, it's now. Could you please talk more about it?
Yeah, I feel that, the more I think these days we are getting so much exposure to, knowledge that people have started, feeling scared about taking decisions. Like when I was there, I had no clue. There was no so much of, social media wasn't that great. Even I used to sit with my friends and we used to talk about internet, but it wasn't that impactful that right now it is with the college students. And it has made people so scared about taking decisions. They want to research everything on social media. They want to research, read everything. Like before taking one single step, they are so scared they would have read hundreds of articles. And then there are, and internet is full of confusions, I would say. There are people who are sharing. See, I will write what I have been through. Someone else will write what they have been through. You will write perhaps what you have been through. So maybe your experience would be that okay, we should wait and then we should wait for the right time, or something different. But I feel that it is very important that we should not waste time, because time is the most precious thing, I feel. I mean, it's not money, it's not resources, it's not the energy, it's the time, and one should be able to utilize time. One masters, the technique of using time, they can achieve anything. So I really feel that, one should be able to utilize time and just wait. If you have any idea, I feel you should just go for it, not thinking about the pros and cons, not thinking about, how things will turn up, or or what if I fail. I mean, this is the main thing that stops most of the people, especially the millennials. It stops them from taking decisions, right? They are so scared that they just don't want to take any decision. They're like, okay, मैं फेल हो गया तो क्या होगा, मेरी बुक फ्लॉप होगी तो क्या हो गया, नेगेटिव रिव्यूज आ गए तो व्हाट विल आई डू, ब्लॉग पे मोनेटाइजेशन नहीं हुआ तो क्या होगा. आई मीन, सो मेनी थिंग्स. मैं फोटोग्राफर बन गया बट मेरी फोटोज नहीं बिकी तो क्या हुआ. आई मीन, there's so many endless things that stop ones from taking the decision, and that results in just wasting time. क्योंकि आज नहीं करोगे, अगर आपके अंदर है मन में, तो maybe at some point of time you will want to give it a shot. So I feel, why not now? अभी आपकी एनर्जी फ्रेश है, अभी योर थॉट्स आर फ्रेश, योर आइडियाज आर फ्रेश, यू आर फ्रेश with you know with the concept that okay you want to do this. Why to waste time? So I just feel that time is very important. Whatever it is now. बाद के लिए कुछ नहीं होता. I really feel that. So yeah, that is very important. I live by this philosophy. It is the main mantra. I cannot afford to waste time, and I always suggest everyone to utilize time. Whatever it is now. You cannot rely on the future.
You truly believe in the now, present. Yes.
It is whatever it is now. We can create our future. See, I am a very spiritual soul, and I believe in the cosmic energies. I believe in the laws of attraction, the karma. Puja part bahut karti. I'm very religious, and I really feel that we can shape our destiny. Whatever actions that we take now results in whatever will happen in the future. तो अगर आज मैं उठ के चाय नहीं बनाऊंगी तो वो चाय अपने आप नहीं बनेगी. It's as simple as that. This is the most the most layman example that I can give. That you have to take the decision. You have to do it now. You have to take the action. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your philosophy.
Yeah.
You chose to publish your book A to Z of blogging exclusively on Kindle. Why did you take that decision? In fact, what led you to take that decision?
For Kindle, I have published a couple of ebooks, short stories on Kindle because obviously there is, publishers take a lot of time and I couldn't wait for that. Plus, my intention for A to Z of blogging was to just share my experience and to teach the aspiring bloggers how to go about it, share my journey, tell them the techniques, the tips and bits that I had no idea. I had learned from my experience. There was no one to tell me how to begin with and what are the pros and cons, what are the technical things. Even for the layman, if you have not studied software, if you have not no idea about the website development or whatever it is, but yeah, so that main idea was to share everything with the people, and plus I wanted to reach a wider audience. So Kindle is present worldwide, right? I with one click with the publish, now the book is available in almost everywhere where Amazon is there. And I have written, like, I have got so many positive response about this book from the international readers as well. India mein to my blog is prominent, so there are so many followers. So it was but obvious that I will get a good response for this book. But internationally, भी जो मैं चाह रही थी, that my main intention was to just to reach a wider audience. Plus, I did not want to go through the long process of um, with the publishers, because it's a very tedious process. If you bring a publisher into the picture, they will take time, they will take months to respond, and then even if you sign the contract, they will take at least 6 months to 1 year to publish the book, which is a long time. If you go traditionally, I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the vanity publishing, the self-publishing part, but and I don't believe in that also. So for traditional publishing, yes, it would have been a long process, and I wanted to release this book when I completed 13 years of blogging. So wanted to give it a give it a space where I could just share. Okay, this I have completed this journey, and now I am ready to share what I have learned, gathered enough knowledge about it. So it was plus this idea of this book came a month before my blog anniversary. Like I complete my 13 years in December 2019. And I think somewhere near Diwali, I got this idea that, okay, I'll be completing 13 years and now I should share my journey, because there's been so many interviews, plus, so many things have been said and read. But I wanted to have one place where I could share everything from the technicalities to the experience to, tips and tricks and secrets. So within a month, no publisher would take it, I know. So I just thought that, okay, I will publish it on Kindle. So yeah, plus it's more convenient when it comes to digital rights, when it comes to distribution, availability, edits. So yeah, so that's why Kindle.
Yeah, definitely. After the pandemic, digital books have picked up really well.
Oh, so I really feel that was a very good decision because usi ke baad next year, like in 2019, I released this book. 2020, when pandemic happened, and people were, more shifted to e-books and everything. So I felt that okay, this is a good decision. This because of this reason only, and because of such a good response that got for A to Z of blogging, I published my another proper novel on Kindle itself. It's called Dreamcatcher. I published it last year only.
Yes.
I think around September, July, September, something like that. But yes, because of that experience, I was like, okay, let's just publish this also here. I was really happy with the response and reaction.
All right. Um, we'll take questions from the members here.
Okay.
Megha, you can come in with your question.
Okay. Hi, Anamika. Uh,
Hi.
so it was great learning about your journey. But I was wondering, for instance, you have a following and you have like a lot of people that, would come to know that you published a book on Kindle and sort of go and, check it out. But like for somebody who doesn't have that sort of following, like for instance, you shared that the first book that you published was a paperback, through a traditional publisher, I'm
Mm-hmm.
guessing. So,
Yeah.
what are your views on Kindle versus going with a traditional publisher for somebody who may be a first time author?
I feel if you're a first time author and if you want to go with the Kindle option, that's what you wanted to understand, right?
Yeah, but what are the pros and cons, in your opinion, for somebody who's a
I
first time author
hmm.
and may not have the kind of following that you have? So,
Oh,
how do you?
even I didn't have that sort of following when I started, but it grows with time at first. So and plus following doesn't matter. Let me break this, break this, burst this bubble. I should say that having a lakh, a million, half a million followers, my collective fan following on social media is somewhere half a million. But it doesn't mean that I have sold half a million books. So it's just a number that that you see, that people see, and that inspire others to follow you, but not everyone who is a fan. So I have come across people who have been huge regular followers and who have been following my thoughts, perceptions, my suggestions, reading my articles, but they haven't read a single book. So that happens. So following doesn't matter. It's just a number game. It's just a good thing to show that okay, I have such huge number of fans and followers. Now, for the first time, or for the debutant, I would say, I think if you have written a book and if it has good content, because at the end of the day, content is king. So if you want to go with the Kindle option, it is a very good thing because then you are on the safer side. First thing, because you have all the rights to edit the book at any point of time. Maybe today, as a debutant, suppose I am assuming that you have written a book and you're ready to publish. Okay, now once you have published the book, and maybe after a month you feel like okay, because I feel लोगों के जो perceptions, जो thoughts होते हैं ना, they change with time. As you grow as a person, your thoughts will change. So today, if you think something is right, maybe after a year or after 2 months, you will think that, okay, this is a wrong thing to do. And this helps with the Kindle version of the book. Maybe after 2 months, you feel that, okay, I should add something more to my story, which makes it even more interesting. Some plot, some twist, or anything. Or maybe you can just remove the climax, or maybe you can just change the climax. So that independence is comes with Kindle when you publish a book with Kindle. Plus now Amazon has given this option for paperback also, so you can set up a paperback book as well once you launch the Kindle version of the book. So it's a very simple thing. It's more like once someone orders the book, they publish the book and send. It's more like that. But I think for a first timer, Kindle will be a good option because and plus you can share. You have all the rights. You can talk about you can decide what price you want to keep. You can have your cover changed. Suppose after 6 months you want to change the cover for the second edition, you can just change it within few clicks. You don't have to go with the hassle that publisher brings in your life. It's a very long process. Plus, going with a traditional publisher is a very tedious process. People, I have seen authors giving up in between the journey. They were like, "Ab nahi ho raha, ma'am, ab bata dijiye." I mentor so many aspiring authors, and trust me, they were on the verge of, some of them were on the verge of giving up. That okay, अब नहीं हो रहा, now I just want to quit, ये publishers बहुत परेशान कर रहे हैं. So that's the thing comes with Kindle, I feel. So as a debutant, I think if your book is ready, you can go with Kindle. It's a safer side. Going with a traditional publisher is always a good idea, especially with the good name, because then it helps you in making your profile better as an author. So suppose your first book is published by Penguin, so that will be a huge thing for your profile as well. Although Penguin may not support the person as much as they support the celebrity authors, but then again, for your profile, for your personal, I'm being very blunt right here, but I had to tell this. And so yeah, I think going with the Kindle option is a safer side. I have tried this, and it's really good. Yeah.
Okay, but like for instance, you said you spoke about how Jeko approached you after your first
Mm-hmm.
book, and then
Uh-huh.
somebody, I forget the name of your second publisher, they approached you after your second book,
Westland.
Westland. But how did you sort of publish your first book? Like, how do you get the attention of a publisher then?
Oh, that's a very funny thing. So I had no clue. As I mentioned, I had no, connections in the industry, and I had no friends, no nothing, no one. And plus, I was really scared to tell everyone that, I wanted to be an author. I was really scared at first. And I am talking about 2013. That time, people were not that cool about, going with the unconventional careers like being an author, photographer, or a social media influencer for that matter. So I never shared anything with anyone except for my mom and dad and my brother. These three people knew that I've written a book and I am going to publish it. इसके अलावा किसी को नहीं पता था. So then, once I was done writing with the book, I googled, made a list of publishers who were into traditional publishing and who were accepting submissions. So I went through each and every publisher's website, went to their submission guidelines, and I submitted the book. So the first publisher who responded was Gyan Books. They had their imprint called Kalpaz Publications for the fiction genre. So they were the first ones to respond, and I said yes to them because it was a dream come true for me. I was like, okay, this publisher wants to publish my book, I'll say yes. Although after signing the contract with Gyan, there were three more publishers who said yes to my book, and those were bigger names than Gyan Books. But then I had signed contracts, so I had to say no to them. But yes, that's how it happened. So when people are, I have seen, because this question is being asked so many times, that how do we approach a publisher? Every publisher just mentions their guidelines in their website. They have mentioned it clearly, how many chapters to send, what should be the synopsis length, whatever the author bio should be, whatever they want, they have all mentioned. Just go through it and shoot an email, and they get response. It is a myth that big publishers don't respond over emails or all these unsolicited public synopses and manuscripts. No, they do respond for every. Even if they reject, they will tell you. So just Google, make a list, do your homework well. Just Google or make a list, and then just approach them accordingly of whatever the submission guidelines are.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
We
you.
really appreciate your honesty here.
Thank you. I have to be honest. At first I had no clue. There was no one to guide me. So I understand the importance of telling the truth to everyone who aspires and who seeks knowledge, because it is very important. Maybe my one wrong suggestion, or maybe my one wrong decision can lead to anyone else's failure, and I don't want to do that. So yeah.
I'm sure. Thank you. I'll invite Sunanda for the next question. Sunanda, are you there? Okay, then I'll invite Deepika for the next question.
Hi, Anamika.
Hi, Deepika. How are you?
I loved your book. I downloaded it today morning, and I think within 1.5 hours, I was done. And I think I'm going to give it maybe 2-3 reads more in the next 2 weeks. And
Amazing.
It was fabulous. And I'm definitely going to gift it to a lot of my blogging friends. So
Thank you.
by profession, I think I'm a vanity publisher. So I do work with a lot of authors and do their blogging for them, and I start them off. So my thing is to empower them. So to give them these kind of books once the website is done, I think is very, very empowering. So I really loved your book. So thank you for being so honest and writing this, So my question to you was, regarding the myths, some of the myths that you probably have about Kindle. Actually the vanity publishing also does all those things. So we publish books within a month's time if the editing is done properly, and you can retouch the books. So those kind of myths is something that I probably would like to correct, at least with us. I don't know about other vanity publishers, and of course.
No, I was talking about traditional publishers. They always take a long way. That's why I did not mention about, vanity publishing, because there you have the rights,
Yeah.
There things
And
are
the
done
other thing is,
faster.
like you, I've had a personal experience, a very bad experience with huge publishers writing my own mother's book. And I think that's how, from an author, I became a publisher. And I think with all the errors that I made with my own book, I sort of, corrected them and extended it to my authors. So the amount of money that I spent, suppose 100 rupees on myself, now the author spends only 20 rupees or even less than that. I mean, it's just an approximate, So I think honesty is it's a very sustainable kind of, trait. And I think I resonate completely with your book and you. So thank you so much. So my question for you was, you've talked to us about this broken links, So I don't really understand that term. I'm not a very technical kind of a person. And SEO, of course, was very beautifully explained, Finally, I understand SEO rules. So what is broken links?
Okay, so with time, when your blog is, say, 2 years old or 3 years or so on, there are certain links that are, that are automatically created. And there are certain links that, when your blog gets, or when your website gets more exposure now, there are bots on the website, on the internet, that are being exposed and sent over to your website, more like the phishing attack or something like that. In a layman language, I would say, there's an attack to steal your information from your website or blog. Yeah. So that's how broken links are created. So what happens is, when you're not aware of these broken links, these links are continuously being clicked on, and they show the 404 not found page, which affects the ranking of the website. That straightforward affects the ranking of the website, the listing of your website or your blog on Google, on every search engine, because then when the crawlers crawl of any of the search engines, they just send crawlers every now and then to your website to see if your website is all good, and the link is working, the website is up, and everything is good on your website as you have submitted when you submitted for the first time. So when they go to check that, and when they find that there are so many broken links, they will automatically push your website down. And maybe if your blog is being shown on the first or the second page, it will move to the ninth or 10th page. because then Google or any other search engine will get this impression that okay, this blog is not up to date and there are so many broken links here, maybe it's not updated, as simple as that. So these broken links are very important to remove with time. So even personal, for my personal blog, I'll not talk about Oh That Buzz and Pop Story because the team is managing that. But for my personal blog, I manage everything A to Z. And every week, once a week, I sit and I check for my broken links and I just redirect them to the main page. So there will be useless stupid links that will be made automatically, say anamikamishra.com/abcdefgh, something like that. It's all rubbish, but it's all because of the phishing attack and the bots that are being exposed on the blog. So that's what the broken links mentioned. First kind of broken link is this. Second kind of broken link is, suppose that you wrote an article and then you deleted it and you have not redirected that old link to a new link or maybe to the home page. So that also creates a broken link. So you have to redirect that to the home page. So suppose you wrote, say, a movie review of some movie, say Dilwale. So now, and then after a year, you felt that, okay, this is not relevant to my blog, I'll delete it. And you simply deleted it. So in that case, you will redirect that old link to to the category movie review page or to the home page, so that this broken link is not there anymore. So whenever the crawlers will come, they will just, come to the home page and they will not see any of the 404 not found pages. So
So
these are the two types of broken
how do
links.
you find people who will sort out this problem for you?
It's very easy. I will tell you. There is a plugin which is
I'm just writing it down.
sure.
Yeah.
So there is a plugin called Yoast. Sorry, no, go for a redirection. If you're using WordPress, are you talking about WordPress?
See, I'm on Shopify right now, but I'm planning to move to WordPress because it's getting a bit expensive for me. So, but I think Shopify is what I'm handling right
Shopify. Okay, so there are plugins called redirection, or just simply search the most updated plugin for finding broken links, and then go for another plugin which is called redirection plugin, where you can just manually put all the links there and read and put the source link, put the target link, which is the broken link, and the source link where you want to redirect that link. And you can do it yourself. Don't go with any of the companies for this small little things. You can do it yourself. It'll hardly take, if your blog is not having thousands or 2,000 of broken links, then it'll be hardly done within an hour or so.
now.
So that's very easy. You just have to add plugins. All sort of plugins are available. So just go for the plugin and just redirect it yourself. It is very easy. Maybe you can do one thing
One
more.
more question. Do you have classes that you take individually?
Yes, I do take classes. I do mentor for book writing and blogging. So you can talk to me anytime if you want.
Okay.
There's a link on my blog as well to book an appointment, and then you can do it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bhavna for the next question.
Hi, Anamika. Thank you
Hi.
so much for such a beautiful and explanatory book.
Thank you.
I have two questions. One question is that then how, like you have mentioned in your blog, I mean in your book, that you should choose one or two topics. You should not deviate too much. But sometimes when you originally choose a topic, you are very committed towards it. But when after writing after 3, 4 months, something, then you find something trending, and you want to write about it. So is it okay, or how to go about it? I mean, how should we handle that?
I think
Because we are
sticking to
humans,
the
we get,
niche.
so
Yes,
yeah,
I
please.
understand. So I think sticking to the niche is good for a long run. It is good because then your readers will get this idea that okay, when I come to this blog, I'll get to read about this. Now, for a change, if you want to once in a while, once in a blue moon, if you want to push, publish any of the articles that you think that you should write upon, or any views or any review, then you can obviously go, because at the end of the day, it is your blog and it is a place where you push out your expression, your experiences. So once in a while it's good, but then sticking to the niche is good for a long term. So I think that once in a while it's good. You say you are publishing 10 articles, out of which two are of not of your niche, and these are general articles. So then that's good. That doesn't harm. But then if you one fine day you start, if eight are irrelevant and two are just relevant, then that can hamper your readership, because then people will find it irrelevant. They'll be like, okay, मैं तो यहाँ पे movie review पढ़ने आया था, यहाँ पे तो मुझे travel के tips मिल रहे हैं. So, or someone is talking
Yeah.
about banking here, then that will hamper your readership. But once in a while, it's all good, so you can publish it.
50-50 is good.
60-40 will be good. It should not give this idea to the reader that okay, यहाँ पे कुछ भी खिचड़ी पकी हुई है. It should not be like that. So your main idea, your main focus should be to just give out the relevant information. So 60% will be of your niche and 40% can be anything. That is also a good ratio.
And like you said that for first 5 years you also didn't earn anything in your blog. So we know that it won't start from day one. We won't start earning. So how do you expect us to stay motivated? I mean, how should we self motivate ourselves to keep on writing good stuff and then finally reach there for the
See,
new bloggers?
for the first 5 years, I did not earn because that was a different scenario then, because I started in 2007 and even brands were not promoting their brands, their products and services on blogs. Even, Google AdSense had their very strict policies and they hardly approved any blog for ads and all that. But now I think it is much more easier, and plus it's more, blog I feel is more like a long term investment where you don't reap benefits right now, right here, or maybe for 6 months or so, but for a longer run it is really good. So for the first 5 years when I was not earning from my blog, I was just being consistent in writing, and I was just putting all my energies and efforts there. I used to work till 3 or 4 at night just searching for my blog topics and just researching and just writing. But then today, I don't have to put that much time and energy in my blog because it's all going in the background. It's all, my articles are getting traffic, and my readers are reading, ads are being clicked, blog, products, brand collabs are being approved. So everything is happening. That is happening now. So for the two things, one, that it will not take 5 years if we see from the current scenario. Maybe 3 months or 6 months down the line, you'll start earning if you have consistency in your publishing of your posts. And it all depends upon the social media interaction that you're, the sharing that you're doing for your blog, the number of audience that you are bringing to your blog. So it all depends on that. So maybe 6 months down the line, I think is a good time to, and people can start earning from the blog, from the ads. Second thing, if you don't get, then you have to remind yourself that now I am not getting, but it will help me in future. So that should be the main source of motivation, that okay, आज नहीं, लेकिन हाँ मुझे पता है कि 1 साल के बाद मुझे इसमें profit मिलेगा. So that is very important. It is really hard to stay motivated at times. You will feel like giving up and you will feel like, okay, ये बकवास है, कुछ नहीं होता. But then it happens. And that is how, when people are looking for a longer term, and when their vision is for the long term investment in terms of time and energy in their blog, it helps. Because आधे से ज़्यादा लोग तो quit कर देते हैं. And the people who are staying back, they are earning well from their blog. So you have to be
What was your
consistently.
motivation? What was your
My
motivation
motive,
mantra?
My motivation, see, when I started, मुझे तो पता भी नहीं था कि blog से earning भी हो सकती है and this can be a profession. So I was just moving into the unknown. My case was different. I started promoting my book when my book was when my book was released, first book to handle was released. I started writing about my book on my blog. That okay, this was the inspiration, and these kind of frequent articles that I was posting on my blog, they somewhere attracted some brands, and they just approached me that okay, we want you to write a guest post on your article, okay, we want you to write our website review, or review our product on your website, and we'll pay. And very frankly, it was so surprising for me. I was out of the college girl, everything new. And first brand which approached me was Ask Me Bazaar. They were new that time, and they just approached me and they were like, okay, we want you to review our website and we'll pay you for that. And I was so happy. I was like, wow, I will write on my blog and they will pay me. So
Wow.
that was the thing. So I was moving into the unknown, but now when I look back, I can see that you know it is very important that that consistency only helped me. So you don't have to think about the money, you don't have to think about the profits, because anyway you'll get profit if you're consistent in anything, not just blogging, any business, not every business. दुकान के अलावा कोई बिजनेस जो भी है ना वो पहले दिन से प्रॉफिट नहीं देता. There are so
Yes.
many brands that I have worked with. They have been listed on Amazon for 6 months and 1 year, and they have not sold a product. And suddenly उनका brand अच्छा उठ गया, and then that all depends. So you just have to remind yourself that okay, आज नहीं है, but it will happen. And you have to move into the unknown. You have to create good content and be consistent in writing the blog.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's more like working with the tree. You you don't get fruits from the day one. You have to wait for at least 3 to 4 years to get fruits.
Plant a
If
tree
if
and
that,
then expect.
yeah. So it's more like that. But you get fruits, and these fruits are really sweet. So
Eventually.
yeah.
Thank you.
You have to be consistent, and you have been consistent, Anamika.
Yes, consistency helps.
Yes. My next question to you: to travel is to find solace in this chaotic world. Anamika, you love to travel, and your travel posts draw a lot of attention. Which are your favorite travel destinations? How did you plan to write travelogue?
So initially, again, I will say that I was naive and I had no clue that okay, this can be something that I can do it regularly. So whenever I used to travel with my family, so to give you a small background, my mom and dad, they were a huge travel buff. So even in my school time, I used to take trips every second or third month. My dad was like, "छुट्टी हो रही है स्कूल की करने दो, but we will take a trip, even if it's for 2 days or 3 days." So I have grown up in that environment that okay, traveling is important. It is important for your mental well-being. It is important for your health, and you need to travel. You know. So initially, I used to just share, my experiences and my ideas on my blog. Posting pictures. I was into photography. My dad loved photography, so he taught me photography. So I used to, click pictures and share it on my blog and write reviews. Then so I always say I'm obsessed with stories. I am a chatterbox. So in my blog also, when I used to write articles when it comes to traveling, and when you will read also yourself, you'll see it's more like me telling you what has happened during the trip. It's more like storytelling. It's more like okay, I went there and this happened. It's not like you're reading a magazine article where you're just being told, and it's a properly edited and very refined article written by some editor who is just sitting in their office. It's not like that. When you read the article, you will get the vibe that okay, this happened, and you will at times you will smile reading the article. At times you will be like okay, now what might have happened next. So that happens a lot of times. So I used to write like that. And when I saw that,
Liking this, am I audible?
Yeah, your voice has now it.
Now, is it audible? Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so when I notice that people are liking this way of writing, and when they are enjoying that, okay, she's sharing her experience and it's worth reading, and plus it's informative as well. So then I decided to stick to this way of writing travel logs, and that's how now I enjoyed writing travel logs. It's my blog is more like a travel blog. It's focused on traveling, because anyway I travel a lot now. My parents are no more, but then for work, for events, for speaking sessions, for travel collaborations, and so on and so forth, I keep on traveling. So I share it on my blog, and the storytelling way of writing articles has really helped me. It is appreciated by writers. They feel like I am talking to them. That's what the review that I have got from most of the readers. So that's what I'm telling. Coming to my favorite destinations in India, I love Leh Ladakh. It is one of the most beautiful places I've seen, like ever. Even if I'll go to anywhere in the world, it cannot replace what impression Ladakh has made on my mind. So and not specifically Leh Ladakh, like Leh the city, but the route of Leh from Manali is something that it is an experience of its own. You take a flight from Delhi, you fly to Leh, you will not get to experience what you will experience while on a road trip from Manali to Ladakh, because that beauty and that change in landscapes is something like, you have to visit and then you have to experience it from your own. International destinations I haven't explored much, though I have been to Bangkok, I've been to Thailand, and I've been to Doha, Qatar, and I really like Qatar a lot. I had this notion about these Arabian cities, countries, that okay, these were not that exciting, or maybe lack of greenery and something like that, but then Doha is really a pretty place. So international destinations where I'll suggest Doha, and in India you have to visit Ladakh via road from Manali. That is the specific thing that one has to experience.
Thank you. I'm sure people want to visit Leh Ladakh now, especially given the pandemic situation. People have not started traveling much yet.
Yeah, and now they have made this Atal tunnel. I have not experienced this Atal tunnel, but it looks really beautiful. Plus,
Yes.
my friends have given this, this review that you enter Atal tunnel, the landscape is different. Once you come out, it is entire change. Like you feel that you have been, transmitted to some new place, because when you travel by road, because when I visited, there wasn't any tunnel or something like that. So we were seeing the change that was happening, the change in landscape that was happening. First it was the tall mountains, then it was greenery. Suddenly greenery started vanishing, and there were brown mountains, and then there was all sort of things. There comes a place where you feel like you are in Jordan. So these are the kind of landscapes that you get to see when you're traveling via road to Leh. So yeah, that
Yes.
is one experience, that
I'm
one
sure.
trip, one. Yeah.
I'll invite Sareen for the next question.
Hi, Anamika. Congratulations on the many laurels and successes. I think this is just the starting for you. So wishing you many more.
Thank you.
My question to you is, how difficult is it, like a full-time author or a writer, how difficult is it to follow a schedule? And can you share on that?
Okay. So, yes, it is very difficult. And especially when you are working from home, because since like in 2020, people made this work from home thing very normal, but a pain that, of working from home can only be experienced when someone is doing since long. And I started my career like this. So I say I've been working from home since I started, my profession. I used to step out step out to cafes and restaurants, and places like these to write on my books. But starting in the beginning of 2 3 years, initial 2 3 years, I feel that I was not focusing on having a schedule, fixed schedule, because it was all haywire, and I was like, okay, I am working from home, I am my own boss. So that's what happens when you just enter, and then there is no one to guide you and no one to tell you. You just feel that you're the king of the world, and you can do anything and everything. But then with the time I realized that, okay, I need to have a fixed schedule for my work, for writing, because my other things were getting hampered. So I feel that it is very important. So when you're living with a family, see, I live with my family. In fact, right now there are two kids in my house. At present, I'm telling you, my nephew is 7 years old and my niece is 11 months old. And they have been I have like strictly instructed my bhabhi ki आवाज nahi aani chahiye bahar. So they are sitting in the third room and they are being instructed ki koi आवाज nahi karega. So that these are the things that happens when you work from home, and when you live with the family. But then you have to make time, because this is at the end of the day your work, and you have to give it importance. So what I used to do is I used to set a deadline, and I used to set hours that, okay, I have to write for at least 3 hours, or I have to check on my blog every day. So during the daytime I used to work on my books and everything on my blog, and at night I used to give 2-3 hours for writing the book. And whenever I write a book, I follow this only. At night I work on my books, because that time it's all silent and everyone is sleeping in the house. But during the daytime it can be managed from here and there. Plus people are active, when you have a team, or when you're working with the brands, or when you want responses from people, and that obviously you can get it during the daytime. So I really feel that it is very important, because it doesn't hamper your other things, other life schedule, because that is also important. Your family time is important, your lunch hour is important, your play time is important, TV is important. I am a huge movie buff. I cannot miss out my movies, and I cannot miss out my web series and all. So I have a fixed time for everything, and I do not touch work. It's more like having an office. You have to create that zone in your head that, okay, right now you're in your office and you're working, and you have to focus on your work, whether be writing a book or a blog or anything for that matters. You're writing articles or anything. So that zone, that totally depends on you. So you have to stick to it and make sure that you follow, and just reward. So I always tell, there are you are you I you are I feel that you're mature and you can understand. But I have mentored 16-year-old, 15-year-old girls, and I tell them, okay, you reward yourself when you achieve this schedule. So I tell them that, okay, if you like watching Friends, you just tell yourself, okay, if I work for 3 hours, I'll reward myself with an episode of Friends. Do something like that so that you stay motivated. So you have to find ways to stick to your schedule, but it is very important, because it's all about time, as I mentioned in my in the earlier parts of the session also. It's all about managing time. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love the quote from your book, Anamika. Book Too Hard to Handle. No matter how far and where two birds may fly, they never lose their way and always find their way back home. I would admit I haven't read this book yet, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this one.
Well, it's a fact. It's a fact. Even when you read about birds, so I am a huge fan of nature, and I'm a huge fan of science, and I read a lot of books and articles about on these such topics. And it's a fact, when you read, it always happens. Birds don't have a GPS, or no one is there to guide them. But you take a bird and you leave it in any part of the world, and they will fly back to their home. They'll find the way. So why I wrote this particular quote in this book was, the context was that you may lose your path. You may you may forget why you started. But at the end, towards the end, when you will be standing up there on the cliff, you will see that okay, this was the reason and this is how I started, and that moment will lead you back to where you started, you know. um I always believe that one should never forget their roots, and this quote was just to, you know, make people realize that okay, even if you just resist the idea of, you know, running away from your roots or running away from your quotes, you will find your way back. That will be your calling. You will feel that urge that okay, now I have to come back, and this is where I belong. So yeah, it is very important. Like, it is a fact with birds, but with us also humans, it is a fact, you know. I have realized that, I have lived that. When I was when I will share this experience. I've never shared this before, but now that you have mentioned about this quote, I would like to tell you. When I started my college, my masters, I am from Kanpur, and when I joined Amity in Lucknow, I had this urge of okay, now I am free, I am living by my own, I'm living in a hostel life, I'm very, you know, I'm like a free bird and all that stuff, and that zone was there. Then my friends, they moved to Delhi, they moved to Bombay, and I had to come back to Kanpur. So I was like,
Hmm.
okay, everyone is going out, they're living such a fancy life, they're living by their own, having their own places, and they're so free and so independent. And then eventually I had to move out of Kanpur because of my frequent you know, book sessions and engagements and event collabs and everything. I have lived in Delhi for 2 years, then I moved to Bombay for 3 years, then I moved back to Delhi. And but I never got that peace of mind what I get here in Kanpur. And since last year, when I came back to Kanpur, it was not planned that I will be moving out of Delhi. I was living in Delhi. Then this pandemic happened, and all for good. I feel I decided not to go back because everything was being managed, and whenever I have meetings, I do travel even today. But that peace of mind, that whatever what the change that I have experienced in even my perceptions, I feel you know, it was my calling, and it brought me back to my place. So whatever, wherever I tried to fly, you know, wherever I was just searching for the freedom, for the peace of mind, for anything and everything that I wanted to experience in my life, in term when it, you know, when it comes to freedom and everything. But I feel that it was home when I came back, and when I entered my place, and this was the place that I wanted to be. So I feel that no matter where you fly, you will come back home. It will you know, it will bring you back. The vibes, the connection will bring you back. And trust me, this is something that even you will agree, कोई घर जैसा सुकून कहीं नहीं मिलता, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You
Sure.
have touched the right nerve, actually. We'll take one last question here. Suchi.
Hi, Namika.
Hi.
The most attractive quality of yours is your honesty. There is no manipulation at all. आप एकदम बिंदास बोलते हो.
ट्रू, दैट हेल्प्स एक्चुअली, यही मेरे को हेल्प करता है ज्यादा मेरे फैंस और फॉलोअर्स गेन करने में.
My question to you is that initially when you had started, so blogging was something which was very new. So kuch naya when we start, then it is always very, people get attracted towards checking new blogs because this is something which is very new for me. So I would like to see ki kya hota hai blog. So I tend to go and see and read also. But now there is such a big influx of information, right, from blogging to podcast to so much. There's so much. So how to, how to attract again? I mean, this is what my question is.
I will suggest your unique, you have to find your unique voice, your unique quality, because see, people don't like replicas. I always say that. आपको कोई दूसरी अनामिका की जरूरत नहीं है अगर आपके पास ये अनामिका है, right? आपको दूसरा, you don't require another Paulo Coelho if you like reading Paulo Coelho, or you don't need another Amitabh Bachchan if you are following Amitabh Bachchan, right? It's as simple as that, you know.
Yeah.
Even when people try to replicate, when people try to duplicate or, you know, trace someone else's path, they might attain fame or success for some time, but for a long run it doesn't help. And that's what the same thing which implies with blogging as well. No matter how many blogs come, no matter how many writers come, if you have your unique voice, if you have your unique quality, if you're not going with the crowd, and if you're creating your own unique space where people can come and read or experience something which is different, then they will stick to it and you will attract readers. Now I want to clear one thing. Say I am talking about visiting Ladakh, right? There must be thousands of articles where people would have written about Ladakh. You pick each and every article and you read the you know, the tone, the way they have experienced, the way they have written the article, and then you read my article and you will see the difference. You know, I'm not vouching for my writing styles or anything. I'm just giving you this example that you have to create your own voice. Why people come to me? Because they know that I will tell some good incident or some good story or something like that with true honesty. Like, you appreciated that me being very bindas is what you like the most. And you will not just this session, you see my Doordarshan interview, it's there on YouTube. You see any of my interactions, read any of my interviews, my articles, you'll find this tone only. Even if you read my articles now, if they're published on any of the newspapers, you'll feel that okay, this girl is talking in front of me, and now that you've heard me, you'll feel it more. So that is something, you know, that helps a lot. You know, it should be unique. Your uniqueness will you know, help you in a long run, and it will help you in attracting more readers and more viewers, whether it
Even if it's information sharing.
Obviously, see, information sharing is very important. If you write anything and everything which is nonsensical, it will not help you. 2 days people will read, third day they will think इसमें तो कुछ informative तो है ही नहीं, मुझे पता नहीं. So right now, so when I say that I was sharing my experience of this road trip from Leh to Ladakh, I have shared experiences. Okay, leave Ladakh, take this book A to Z of blogging. If this book would have been something which had chapter A, this is the content, chapter B, what is a blog, chapter C, something something something, everything and anything technical written, you know, like there are hundreds of other books, would that book have been so interesting when you were reading this one? When I shared that, okay, in 2007 this is how it started, I was sitting with my dad and I saw this TVC and I googled what is a blog and everything. So you know, this uniqueness, it binds and it attracts readers. So you have to have, so no matter millions of people come, not everyone will have, you know, this quality. So you have to build that quality. You have to find what makes you different from the other people of your genre, and then you see how you grow. People will stick to you with your for your style.
Thank you so much. It really helps.
Thanks.
Thank you, Anamika, for taking the time and interacting with us today. It is amazing and inspiring to get to know your journey, and we really appreciate your honesty. We wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Thank you for being with us. And thank you to Suryodaya members for joining us and making this event a success. Thank you
so much. I really enjoyed interacting with everyone. If you have any questions, I'm available on social media. You can buzz me anytime.
I'm sure people will message you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anamika. Best wishes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.